So just, obviously the last two games, I think you're at about 200 or so receiving yards, a touchdown. Just what's been working for you the last couple of games? Did something click, recently in practice? Just what's been working so well?
Nah, just with CJ being out, we just, next guy up, having that next guy up mentality, just keeping my head down, staying down, working, putting in the work through the week.
And then just, how's your relationship with Carson kind of grown throughout the year? Obviously, you arrived, I guess, in the summer-ish, and just, so I had to get up to speed fairly quickly. Just how have you gotten more comfortable with him over the last couple, weeks, couple months?
I was very comfortable with him when I first got here, in May. So I always had that connection with him and stuff like that. It just take it as the weeks go by. Just taking it as the week go by, getting closer and closer, working on that.
All right, next up we'll go to Matt and then Jordan.
Yeah, hey Keelan. Obviously it was a long road here. I think we were at a couple of different programs before this.
Yes, sir.
And I think your biggest statistical year, not maybe your best year, but your biggest statistical year was your true freshman year. Did something change this year? Was it more opportunities or just something in your own game that's really allowed you to sort of break out now these last couple of weeks?
Nah, like I said, I just been keeping my head down, being ready when my name is called, doing anything the team asks me to do, if it's special teams, even it could be defense or anything. I'll do whatever they need me to do to go out there and get a win.
Is it also, I mean, as you look back at your career, do you feel like you always had this sort of in you? Like I'm sort of trying to get at what maybe held you back
Oh
previously,
yeah,
more
yeah,
so.
yeah. I always had it in me. I just do what I need to do for my team and be ready when my number is called.
All right, next up we'll go to Jordan.
Yeah, hey there, Keelan. Coach Cristobal told us yesterday that since CJ's been out the last couple of weeks, he's been acting more like an assistant coach on the sidelines. What's that been like, and just what's his communication messaging been like with trying to help you guys when he's not able to be on the field?
He just preaching to us to keep each other lifted, keep each other going, ask questions, don't be scared to ask questions and coach each other, what I'm saying, take criticism and stuff like that. So he just always keep being that leader and captain that he is.
And then just curious your thoughts on NC State's defense that you guys are going to be going up against on Saturday.
But, they had a great secondary, great D line, great backers, what I'm saying, great program. It just we ready for the test.
All right, Adam.
Hey again. So I asked Jakobe and James the same thing, but you're kind of in the same situation where you've only been here for really only a handful of months. But what has this season meant to you at your time at UM, and just what's it going to be like on Saturday, going out to Hard Rock for the last time, at least in the regular season?
I actually have been thinking about that this week. I know I might cry. I'm gonna try to hold it in though. I might cry. I know it's been a long journey, but I wouldn't want to. I don't regret anything. I don't regret where I've been, the route I took or anything. I'm forever thankful. And I'm forever thankful for this program, this coaching staff giving me the opportunity to come in here and play with these guys. I love them like I love these guys like I known them for years. Like I tell JoJo in my receiver group, I could have obviously been somewhere where I didn't want to be and it could have been miserable. And so just being around these guys every day bring me the joy, and anything I can do to help those guys and serve those guys, that's what I'm willing to do.
And then kind of in the same vein, I guess, like, I mean, I feel like, as someone who, didn't play college football and stuff, uh, I think fans like to know that it means as much to the players as it does to them. Like, obviously, Hurricane football means a lot to them. Do you think there's something that fans maybe don't know, or, they see you on TV, they see you on the field, that they don't know about what it's like to, be in a program like this?
One thing I can say, once you get into programs like this at Miami, it's family after football. These guys, you still want to keep contact with these guys after football, you know what I'm saying? No telling what anyone could be in life after football.
So I know you weren't here last year, but I'm just curious your thoughts. The run game last year averaged 5.5 yards a carry. This year, 4.2 yards a carry. You guys are ranked number 76 nationally in run offense, which was sort of supposed to be a strength. Is the run game still a strength? Is something happening that's sort of preventing it from being a strength? I just sort of wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain times throughout the year where we haven't done a good job of executing our run game, and then I think we did a lot of good things last game regarding that, and that's something we're always trying to continue to improve on. And at the end of the day, we're being coached and taught every single day, and always trying to strive to get better, and that's what we're going to continue to improve on.
All right, next we'll go to Jordan and then Adam.
Yeah, hey there, James. Two questions for you. First off, pre-snap penalties have been an issue for a good chunk of the season. You guys seem to clean them up last week. What improvements have you seen on that front, and what goes into being able to clean that up?
Yeah, kind of like I said before, it's all just execution and mental focus and discipline. And at times, we struggle with that as an offensive line. I've struggled, with that throughout the season. Always just trying to get better, improve, and at the end of the day, when we execute and we don't beat ourselves, we're a pretty good football team and hard to beat. So that's something that we're going to continue to focus on and improve on and make sure it stays that way.
And I'm just curious your thoughts on NC State's defense as a whole. Obviously, their season hasn't gone the way they've wanted, but they have some pretty good wins there, and they've shown they can be a tough nut to crack out there at times.
Yeah, they're a really good football team. They've got a lot of good players. They fly around. They have some guys who play extremely hard and with high motors. And yeah, they're a really good team. They've taken some really good teams this year to the end of the game, and they've beaten some really good teams this year as well.
All right, Adam, we'll go to you.
Hey, James, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well. First off, just how jealous were you and the other offensive linemen when CC got to score the other day?
No, we weren't jealous. We were extremely happy for CC, and we've been practicing that play for a while. I mean, I think they've been practicing that play for years actually, but it's obviously just my first and only year here, so we've been practicing that the whole season, and it's always fun when we run it in practice, and it was fun to get to run it in the game finally and celebrate that with him, and just really special moment we're all thankful to be a part of.
And then, obviously I know you've only been here for a season, but just, last home game, playoff stuff notwithstanding, last home game at Hard Rock, just what is this season, this time at UM meant to you, and how special is Saturday going to be?
Yeah, the University of Miami has meant the world to me, and there's a lot of uncertainty and just the whole transfer portal thing and coming here, but everyone has welcomed me with open arms. People have been so good to me here. The coaches have been incredible to me. Our fans have been awesome, and at the end of the day, the players I'm on the field with have been incredible, and I'm super blessed to being able to have these experiences with them. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is going to be going 1-0 on Saturday, and that's what I'm really excited to strive for this week and get an opportunity to be in Hard Rock one last time in the regular season.
Matt, you'll wrap us up.
Yeah, one more for you, James, and it's sort of a follow-up to my other one. I appreciate the answer on the run game. That the pass protection, meanwhile, has been really, really good. Is this just sort of maybe an offensive line that's maybe better at pass protection, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess I don't know how good Pro Football Focus is, but they say that 15% of the time is the only times that Carson Beck's been under pressure. Cam Ward, for instance, last year was 28%, over 28%. Is that just maybe something where this line really excels at that and maybe is still working on the run game a little bit?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the only grades we're really worried with at the end of the day are what Coach Mirabal and Coach Cristobal are telling us. So I'm not sure how those stats are created and stuff like that. But we want to be good at pass protection and keeping the quarterback clean, and we also want to be able to run the ball very effectively. So we're always striving to be elite at both of those. And at the end of the day, whatever is required of us, that's what we're going to do. And if we need to throw the ball 70 times in a game to win a football game, then we'll do that. If we need to run it 70 times in a game, we'll do that also. So it's whatever the situation requires, that's what we're gonna do as an offensive line.
Okay, and just a quick follow-up. Have coaches been pretty happy overall with the run blocking, with the pass blocking in terms of how you guys as a line have graded out, how you guys have been performing, or is maybe one area getting more of a focus from coaches right now?
Everything gets coached. I know that's a cliche, but every week, I mean, Coach Miraball's never satisfied with anything we're doing, and the players in the room are never satisfied with what we're doing. So, good game, bad game. At the end of the day, the only thing you can do is move on to the next week, and there's always stuff to fix. Whether you won the game by 50 points or were lost in heartbreaking fashion, there's always stuff to clean up, and that's what we're focused on.
Gonna ask you a couple big picture questions here. First, when you decided to come back to UM for your final year, what were you hoping to showcase or improve upon? And when you look back at what you've done so far this season, how would you assess what you've done?
Coming back, I was hoping that we would have a DC that has us in the scheme that we're in right now, a mainly 4-down scheme. And really to prove to everybody that, well, what kind of player I was. And I think I've done a pretty decent job. I still feel like I have a lot to prove, but that could just be me.
Yeah, and then sort of to build on that with your journey to get here, the long road recruiting, the injuries 2 years ago, the positional adjustments last year, how gratifying is a season like this for you to wrap up your college career?
I'm extremely grateful. I really enjoyed myself this season, along with all my teammates. I don't know, it's truly a blessing, and I'm happy.
All right, Adam, we'll go to you and then Matt.
Hey, Keem, kind of sticking with the same theme. Looking back over 4 years at UM, did you anticipate yourself kind of being in this position when you got here, and just what's been like your favorite moments over the last 4 years?
Um, well, coming here, I always trusted that Coach Cristobal would build the team that we have right now. Was there doubts our first 2 years? Yeah. Um, but you know, I love it here. I love the University of Miami, and I've always been proud to be a Hurricane.
Is there anything from the last, like any particular game or moment that really stands out in your mind?
Um, Not necessarily. Probably like big games I've had. Like I think my first year against VTech, I had a pretty big game, and then my first year against Clemson was a pretty big game as well. But those are only ones I can really think of.
All right, Matt, we'll go to you and then back to Jordan.
Yeah, hey Akeem. Just want to get your thoughts on the NC State offense. They seem to have a lot of weapons. Is this maybe one of the better offenses you guys are going to be facing this year?
Yeah, I definitely think that they're a very explosive offense. They have a really good offensive line. Their front line is really good, experienced. They have a good quarterback that's improving as the season goes on. Explosive receivers, great running backs. So it'll be challenging, but I'm up for the challenge.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah, hey again, Akino. Wanted to ask you about the forced fumble recovery at the end of the first half. Just the way that you attacked it, and then the way that you saw Jakobe and the rest of the guys just swarming to the ball. Is that play sort of just like a one play synopsis of what you guys have been trying to do under Coach Heatherman, and how would you describe just what you guys have been able to do so well this season?
Yeah, we always talking about second man in. Every time you have a second man coming in on a tackle, you always want to strip the ball out or attempt to. I've attempted to strip the ball out a lot of times this season, but it finally worked this past Saturday. But that's what we try to do, second man strip every time, and it finally worked out.
Matt, we'll go back to you to wrap us up.
Yeah, just one more on NC State. I know you mentioned obviously CJ Bailey that he's improving as the season goes on. What makes him a particular challenge for you guys?
Um, he's athletic for one, and he can throw that ball, and I think he has a quick release personally. But he's a young quarterback who's getting smarter and smarter. He gets that ball out quickly, and he's a tall quarterback, so he's probably the tallest quarterback we've faced. So seeing over the line of scrimmage is easy for him, and his release point is higher than most. So getting our hands up is going to be crucial, but the ball might go over mine. I'm only 6'2" and some 6'3", so but now he's a very athletic quarterback with a good arm, and he plays behind a great offensive line, so it'll be challenging.
Thanks for taking a couple minutes here. So obviously the Miami defense is doing great. You're a big part of it. Can you sort of put your finger on what it is about this defense? I know you've been in different systems before this. Is it sort of I don't want to say simplicity that helps you play fast, but is there just something about this Corey Heatherman defense that just really is resonating with these players and letting you guys play so well together with each other?
I think it's just the love that we all have for each other. I think we had a talk early in the summer when I, first got here about what everyone was playing for after a workout, and there's a couple guys on this defense. I would say a lot of guys that are playing for something that's really serious. So, we play for each other because we know what everyone has going on at home. So it's like a real brotherhood, and we're playing for each other's family when we're on the field.
All right, Jordan, we'll go to you.
All right, to follow up on that, then Jakobe, what are you playing for?
I just love the game, bro. I just like for me, it's just having fun. These are moments that I dreamed of since I was a little kid. So, I don't want to take any moment for granted. Just being a kid dreaming of playing on Saturdays for a big program, didn't matter where, but just playing for the lights, just for love of the game.
And then wanted to ask you, we talked about the interception post game, your fumble recovery at the end of the first half, just that play in general from what Akheem did to start it to just you all swarming to get to the ball. Is that play sort of just in the sense, just like a simplistic model of what you guys are trying to do with the swarming and just all hats to the ball and just being able to execute it in that fashion?
Absolutely. That's we talk about ESP all the time. Swarm is the big thing for us. All 11 hats to the ball as fast as possible. You see it, you go get ball, and that was a true show of what we have to do every play.
All right, Adam.
Hey Jacoby. So I remember after the game you said you'd probably get clowned a little bit for the interception, like how you were like the pause and stuff. Were there any like texts or anything that you saw that that made you laugh?
Yeah. My mom texted me. She was at the game. My mom texted me right after the play had happened and asked me if I forgot to put my phone on the or forgot to put myself on the charger before the game. So I don't know. There's been a lot, bro. I'm just worried about this week. I'll get to it sometime soon, but there's been a lot of stuff. I've heard some crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. That's a good one. Thought I'd ask because I remember you said that. And then looking ahead to this week, what have you seen from NC State's offense? Obviously, their quarterback's pretty solid. They've got a good run game. Just what have you seen from them?
They're explosive. The quarterback's a really good player. He's fun to watch, but he makes a lot of plays happen. He extends a lot of plays. They got some good receivers, that are very, very good downfield. I think the O line communicates pretty well, and there are two running backs. They had a redshirt freshman that came off a little hot the week before last, so they got a lot of pieces everywhere. Explosive offense. It's gonna be a fun game to play for.
And then I asked James the same question. Your first year, probably your only year at UM. Just what has this year meant to you, this season, and what's it going to be like on Saturday? At Hard Rock for the last time, at least in the regular season.
That means everything to me, bro. My biggest thing coming here was, I had to make a name for myself. But I didn't think I was gonna fall as much as in love with this place as I did. Hard Rock's a fun place to play, and it's so beautiful to play in there. So for this to be my last one in there, it's kind of surreal because it ended so quick. But I'm excited to have this fan base and do everything we can for them. So